Then, at precisely the darkest hour of the night, when a hush had fallen over the sleeping village, those villagers who had patiently waited and watched raised a cry. The silence was broken. The women awoke with a start. The moment was at hand. It was time to trim their lamps. Suddenly alert, Jessa quickly used her extra oil to fill her darkened lamp. A lifetime of waiting had come to an end, and she hoped she had made sufficient preparation. Gabriella reached for her vessel and filled her simple lamp with all the remaining oil she had. As she carefully tucked her empty vessel away, Nava, who was sitting beside her, let out a small cry. Her flame had gone out. Her lamp was empty. She had not brought any extra oil. What would she do now?
I have waited all my life for this night. I have waited all my life for this night. I desperately want to go to this wedding, but my preparations just weren't enough. Why, oh why did I not remember to bring extra oil? The thought never even crossed my mind.
Frantic, Nava turned to Gabriella to see if she had extra oil, but there was none to spare. She watched the other women trim their lamps as tears ran down her cheeks and fell on the empty flowered lamp that was cradled in the folds of her dress. Realizing her mistake, Nava fell to the ground weeping. With the bridegroom approaching, the preparations around her intensified, and soon other women in the group realized that they were also short of oil.
I have been so consumed with the daily necessities of running my home that I have kept putting off the making of the trip to the top of the hill. I just simply ran out of time.
It's been so long since I've made my way to the shopkeeper for oil. I never dreamed you'd come so late in the night.
I wondered if there would really be a wedding. I considered buying oil for my lamp, but since I rarely used it, I thought it might go to waste.
I used all my extra money to buy a new dress for the wedding. I wanted to look as nice as the others. There wasn't enough money left over to buy oil.
The 5 women rushed over to Dina and Leora and fell at their feet, begging for help. These women had brightened the darkness for them in the past. Surely they would share their oil. But what had been prepared could not be shared in an instant. Every drop was needed now. They could not risk letting their own lamps run empty. As much as they longed to help their friends, there was nothing they could do. Finally, weeping tears of frustration, the 5 foolish women turned to Eliana. The wise woman could give them nothing but advice.
You will have to go out into the darkness of the night and find oil. Buy what you need, then return. Hurry, he's coming.
Clutching their empty lamps, the frantic women ran out through the garden gate and into the village streets. They would never make it back in time. The 5 remaining women carefully trimmed their wicks and finished emptying the oil from their vessels into their lamps. The bridegroom made his way through the crowded streets. He turned the corner just in time to see the 5 foolish women running toward the hill. His heart ached for their lack of preparation. Then he lifted his eyes to the doorway and took in the sight he had waited a lifetime to see. Leora was there with her finely crafted pole holding her lamp high. The flame from Gabriella's simple lamp lit up her eyes, which glistened with anticipation. Dina lifted her lamp so the flame could dance with the others, adding a soft glow to the brilliant display of light. Eliana rested a wrinkled hand on Dina's arm and lifted her yellow lamp as high as her frail arm could reach. And quiet Jessa had fallen to her knees, her lamp cupped carefully in both hands, while tears of overwhelming gratitude streamed down her cheeks. These 5 wise women had each come to know the bridegroom, and their hearts filled with joy as they watched him stride through the garden gate and down the pathway that led to the great wooden door.
He lifted me and strengthened me.
When I was weak, he made me strong. When I felt I could not go on, he made up the difference. When I found disappointment, he offered me consoling peace. He believed in me and encouraged me.
The shopkeeper paused and greeted each of the women one by one. Then he invited them in for the wedding feast. Together, the 5 women raised their lamps in a final tribute and went in with him into the marriage, and the great wooden door was shut.